So there is total chaos in the United States of America under President Donald Trump. So right now, American citizens are fed up with this government and how he's running it like a dictatorship. And it's not just Democrats. Republicans are upset. Independents are upset. Even some of MAGA are upset with this government. Due to all this chaos, former President Barack Obama had to speak on this issue. Let's hear what President Barack Obama has to say.
Something more precious, which is, who are we as a country and what values do we stand for? And now, this is not just an abstraction, and I think this is one of the challenges that we have. And I saw this even before the last election. I think people tend to think, democracy, rule of law, independent judiciary, freedom of the press, that's all abstract stuff because it's not affecting the price of eggs. Well, you know what? It's about to affect the price of eggs. One of the things that has distinguished us in the past has been this basic idea that we are a rules-based society. What that means is that, you know what, I can support one candidate instead of another, and I don't have to worry that the police are going to come harass me or my customers. That's what happens in other places. That's what happens in Russia. We take for granted the idea that we don't have to pay bribes or hire somebody's cousin in order to get a business permit. That's how we built the economy we did. That's why this place worked. And it has very concrete impacts on all of our lives. So, this is the first time I've been speaking publicly for a while. I've been watching a little bit. Yeah. Let me just close this portion of my remarks by saying it is up to all of us to fix this. It's not going to be because somebody comes and saves you. The most important office in this democracy is the citizen, the ordinary person who says, no, that's not right. And I do think one of the reasons that our commitment to democratic ideals has eroded is that we got pretty comfortable and complacent. You know, it has been easy during most of our lifetimes to say you are a progressive, or say you are for social justice, or say you're for free speech, and not have to pay a price for it. And now we're at one of those moments where, you know what, it's not enough just to say you're for something. You may actually have to do something and possibly sacrifice a little bit. So, yeah, if you're a law firm being threatened, you might have to say, okay, we will lose some business because we're going to stand for a principle. If you are a university, you may have to say, figure out, Are we in fact doing things right? Have we in fact violated our own values, our own code, violated the law in some fashion? If not, and you're just being intimidated, well, you should be able to say, well, that's why we got this big endowment. You know, we'll stand up for what we believe in, and then we'll pay our researchers for a while out of that endowment, and we'll give up the extra wing or the fancy gymnasium that we can delay that for a couple of years, because academic freedom might be a little more important. For most of human history, and to this day in most of places in the world, there is a cost to challenging the powers that be, particularly if they're abusing that power. And this idea, and I've noticed this among some wealthier folks who, after George Floyd, they were right there, and a bunch of companies were talking about how they cared about diversity and they wanted to do this and they were all for that, and they are mute right now. But what that tells me is it was okay when it was cool and trendy, and when it's not, not so much. And that, I think, is what we have to, each of us has to examine in our own hearts. Is all right, we say we're for equality. Are we willing to fight for it? Are we going to risk something for it? We say that we're for rule of law. Are we going to stick to that when it's tough, not when it's easy? We believe in freedom of speech. Do we stand up for freedom of speech when the other person talking is saying stuff that infuriates us and is wrong and hurtful? Do we still believe in it?
So there you have it, man. President Barack Obama has spoken. And we can take a lot out of it. One of the main things that stood out to me as President Obama was speaking was that nobody's coming to save us. And when I say us, I'm just talking about Americans, America, from this train wreck that Donald Trump is on. But he said the most important person or people are the American citizens. I'm going to repeat that. President Obama said the most important person or people or group of people right now who has the power to make the change are the American people. And that is evident today because there has been protests in all 50 states. But as President Obama was speaking, you can hear a needle drop because everybody was listening. They wanted to hear from him. But he reminded us that nobody's coming to save us, not even him. But the power is right where it is with the people. And he's not telling nobody to storm the Capitol, as President Trump suggested with them January 6th rioters. He just said, exercise your right, use democracy. So I personally want to thank you, President Barack Obama, first of all, for being presidential, being relatable, and having care and concern for American citizens. We thank you. And he didn't just come out to try to badger President Trump, but he's dealing with some real issues, and he's there's a real concern with Americans with how they're going to put food on the table because of these irresponsible tariffs. And he's also talking about the ways of a bully government, this dictatorship, this oligarchy. So I want to thank President Obama, man, for standing up, encouraging others to don't be afraid, because this is not a time to be afraid right now, but to stand up. But do it strategically. The power is in the people. Listen, man, I want to thank y'all for. First, I want to ask y'all, let me know what y'all got out of the speech from President Obama. Let me know in the comment section what you got out of President Obama's speech. But I want to thank y'all for watching the video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate the continued support. If you have not done it already, I ask that you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I make a video. Also, I launched my members. If you want to be a part of this positive community and be a member of this channel, you can hit the link that says join and follow the link to join the community and be a part of this positive community. Like I said, I thank y'all for watching the video. Don't be discouraged, be encouraged, because Americans are continuing to speak out loud. I ask that y'all be safe out there, be mindful, be careful, and there is hope for a good America. Until next time, man, y'all be safe out there. Peace.